We are 4 minutes away from that closing bell. The Dow trading in the smallest, tightest range of the year right now. The Dow down 28 points, 17,898. Not going to hit that 18,000 number, but a lot can happen in 3 minutes. I want to bring in Chris Bertelsen. He's Global Financial Private Capital CEO, to kind of give us a sense of the week that was. And first, I know that you've got some picks, some stock picks. We got a couple of minutes. What do you like right now? I know Sony's one of your top picks.
Yes, Sony, Microsoft. I love the world of virtual reality and augmented reality. It's sort of just infancy now, but I think next year it'll be full-blown, and by the year 2000, probably $200 billion in sales.
Microsoft, Sony, and then Himax Technologies, HIMX. Why do you like that one?
Well, they're the component supplier to it. They supply chips and integrated circuits and all sorts of electromechanical parts. So they're a small, extremely volatile, they're sort of a risk-on stock, whereas the other two are sort of risk-off, a conservative way to play VR and augmented reality.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this. I mean, you're looking obviously at technology, but overall, one of the strongest pieces of the market this week has actually been the financials. You know, some of the earnings reports have come in a little bit better than expected, and that's actually the ETF, the SPDR, that tracks the financials. Looked pretty good this week. It gained about 8%. Is that an area that you think might actually lift the overall market?
Well, there's no question. It's very hard to get a real strong market without financials participating, and they're really having a tough time. Previously, we were all mad at the banks, particularly the money centers, but now you see that they've really been picked on. Dodd-Frank, they get fined every now and then by a government agency, and they've had actually a hard time lately, and they need to show some traction before we really have a solid bull market.
You know, we just had Donald Trump speaking live from Plattsburgh, New York, and he talked a lot about the fact that he talked about trade deals and that they're bad for the U.S. economy, and then he talked about the loss of manufacturing jobs to other countries. A big part of that, obviously, is corporate tax reform, which a lot of folks have been looking for years and years. If the American economy strengthens, is that a market positive, and how fast could the next president make that happen, do you think?
Well, no question, by a presidential fiat, he could probably make some great strides to lowering taxes. And if we can free up the money, let's say at 5 or 10%, I think it would be a huge boost to American industry and the start of getting jobs back.
That business acumen. Real quick, we're also looking at this meeting on Sunday with oil producers to see what they're going to do about production. We have seen oil rising. That's a little bit tough on the American consumer, but how do you feel about it as an investor?
Well, there's no question. It seems to have tracked the market pretty evenly. Natural gas, really different than oil because it's priced locally. But I think the whole thing, as far as the oil is concerned, actually hinges on one 30-year-old prince and the whims of what they want to do. He's the one really who said, hey, you know, let's start a price war and we'll get market share out of it. And at some point, Saudi is under a lot of pressure because they are a huge transfer payment type society, and something's going to give there, whether it's this time or whether it's in a few months.
Right.
But it's going to happen, and then we'll see oil take off.
Well, it's going to be a big meeting. Well, Chris Bertelsen, thank you so much. It's a down day. The markets are closing up for the week, and there's your closing bell.